So let's just start off by looking at the overall economic environment in 2011. The company report does say that it was a very tight economic environment, and we saw persistency levels much worse than what we saw in the previous financial year. So quite a few lapses that came through. But take us over the period that was.
Thank you very much, Eleni. Thank you very much for having me on your show, and good afternoon to your listeners. Yes, as you've pointed out, we've had quite a challenging year, 2011. From an economic point of view, there was quite a lot of pressure on individuals and also overall in the global financial markets in which we invest our funds. There was a lot of volatility, as you know. Up to now, there's still uncertainty. But from a BIHL point of view, we are very pleased that we could release this set of results. In terms of our premium income, we had a very decent growth of 9%. And in terms of overall revenue, we had that growth of 37%. So overall, despite the challenges, we are quite pleased, but we are optimistic in terms of going into the future.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just drill into some of the subsidiaries and the divisions that we see in the company. New life business down around 13%. We saw slow sales coming through with regards to the individual life business in particular. Are you expecting a recovery within the space into 2012?
In 2012, it will continue to be a challenging area because in terms of most of our customers, we target government employees, and they've not had the salary increases for the past 4 years, and that still remains a challenge on their disposable income. But going forward, what we are doing as a group is introducing new products that will fit the wallet of our customers. And although we are cautiously optimistic, we still believe that we will record growth in terms of the value of new business. I think that the other point to indicate that on the margins for the value of new business, it was affected by the lapses. We had increases in lapses, and we had the civil servant strike last year. So those two negative events had an impact on why we recorded a decrease there.
So if we could just touch on government employees, and you mentioned that they haven't had wage increases for the last 4 years. It seems that that is not going to change, that the government is still going to take a very prudent approach. So how are you going to ensure that we don't see margins being squeezed, despite the fact that, yes, we saw lapses, but you were able to maintain your margins despite the tight economic environment?
You're right. From a government point of view, we've just had the budget announcement. They will not even be increasing the salary, making salary increases this year, as well as overall they are targeting reducing their civil servants bill by about 5%. But what that means, if you look at the statistics over the past 3 years, the private sector has grown on average about 5 or 8%. So what it means is that we need a shift from our company point of view from targeting government employees. There will still be a core part of our business, but we now need to look at the private sector and putting products that are geared towards those private sector employees.
What's also interesting is when you see what is happening from the annuity sales, we saw some strength coming through there, and interesting that that you can retire in Botswana at 45 years of age. I'm sure the Eurozone members would be quite devastated to hear a number like that. But you have been benefiting from this.
That's correct, yes. I think that the early retirement is, from a government point of view, trying to promote individuals to start their own businesses and to be self-sustaining, which is very welcome development from our side. But as you've quite rightly mentioned, is that we have benefited from that business. As if you look at our results over the past 5 years, we've had significant growth in that particular area. And even for this year to record income of 887 million is quite impressive.
Yeah. So let's touch on Project Alpha. That is a strategy that you've put in place. And then you've also put in place a 3-year business strategy called Sekhanchwane. And that, of course, it's called 2014 as well. What are the outcomes or the targets that you hope to achieve through these various projects that you've put in place?
Thank you very much for asking me on that. These are two exciting projects for our group. First of all, Project Alpha is geared towards retaining the clients. We are operating in a small market and very difficult to grow the revenue line. However, we've got the fortunate position because we've got a significant market share. And what we want to do is that we defend that position So Project Alpha is all about conserving and retaining the clients that we have by making sure that we give them the right service and we have a lot of repeat business from their side. And talking in terms of the overall Sehatswane strategy, that is a 3-year strategy. We do realize that we are currently trading in a challenging environment, but we are a business that believes in sustainable results. So we are looking at a 3-year time horizon and saying what are the things that we need to be doing in that time frame. In 2011, we implemented a new IT system. There was nothing wrong with the previous one, but there are global trends that you improve services and sales from a good IT system. So we implemented that. And in terms of the strategy now going forward, we are looking at leveraging on that system by managing our cost efficiencies down, as well as looking at new business opportunities.
Let's also touch on the asset management business and the fact that due to regulatory requirements, you had to drop your shareholding in the Zambia business from 70% to 49%, and this impacting the overall numbers as well. Are you disappointed at the fact that you had to bring your shareholding down?
It's disappointing from a result point of view. Obviously, one would still want to maintain the share that we had, but we do respect and support government policies in foreign markets that we operate. I think the intention there was to make sure that the business remains in the control of citizens, which we are fully supportive of that view. So yes, it was disappointing, but overall, we are happy with the partnership that we have with the local players there, and that they will help that business grow.
With regards to the short-term insurance space, you acquired Lifeguard a few years ago. Revenues increasing quite dramatically there, double-digit growth. Competition within the overall insurance space seems to be quite rife now in Botswana. So tell us about the scenario and the environment and what's going to give you the competitive edge.
You are quite right, because we've observed a lot of competitors coming into the Botswana market. And from our point of view, we welcome competition because it keeps us on our toes and making sure that we are delivering the right products to our clients. And going forward, what we're emphasizing on is we are a Botswana-grown company. We have all our processes handled within Botswana. We have Botswana employees. And what we want to differentiate is on the service side and on the product offering, because we will understand what the local needs are and develop products that are suited for the local market.